If you like making money and you want to know what we're doing to make money, this is going to be the absolute perfect show for you. We are 3 days away from inauguration. What can you expect? What's going to happen afterwards? Where is the shift of focus going to go to? We have Forrest to join us today. We're going to break all that down. We're going to talk about how we are positioning ourselves for the potential Trump pump in Q1, Q2, and for the remainder of the year. Do not miss today's show. It's going to be very important and very fun. So with that being said, let's jump in.
Bring myself to say hola. I really can't. I can't do it.
Okay.
But what does he say? We wrap that thing up in a fun and sexy way. Boring, stale, old information. Fun and sexy way.
That was such a good.
Yes.
Welcome in. Yes, we kicked Robin out. There's some bug going around. My voice is a little raspy. I apologize in advance. But we told Rob stay home. Ashley's gonna do the hola. But sorry, Rob, we already broke that promise. But don't worry. We got all-star team today. We got our man Rocco on the ones and twos in the cockpit of our studio here. We also have Ashley next to me. And of course, hi, Rocco.
Hi, Rocco.
We also have Forrest joining us. Forrest, welcome back, man. How was your weekend, brother? How you feeling? How you doing? We're excited to have you back.
Good. Thanks for having me on. I was sick last week, too. It's been going around.
Something funky's going around, brother, and I don't like it. This is bird flu? I don't know. Either way, we're still trying to come to you today. You know, we could have just taken the day off because I don't feel good either. But you know what? We know you look forward to watching the show. You look forward to getting information, and we do this for you, the community. We love you guys. So let's jump in. With that being said, I just have to start with this right here. I just have to. I'm sorry, but, you know. 3 days before inauguration. And I hope you guys know what this is referencing. You know, it's the crazy lady the first time around that screamed like, "Bah!" after Donald Trump won. Forrest, real quick, before I get into any articles or anything like that, what are you expecting from the markets just 3 days away from the inauguration? We're seeing a pump in Bitcoin. We saw a pump in AI. We'll take a look at the TradFi markets. I haven't really kept an eye on them this morning, today. But what's your expectation with going into the inauguration and maybe a couple weeks after? Do you think this is kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news to where we see a pump prior to and then the day of and maybe a couple of days after we see a big dump?
Very similar to the actual election. Maybe a little bit muted in comparison. When Donald Trump got elected, we saw this massive pump that lasted like 20, 30 days. I think we'll see something similar. Maybe it'll be crazier. Maybe it'll be a little more muted. I think it'll be just a little bit more muted than some like the 6 and 7Xs that we had in a lot of stuff. Maybe we'll get like some 3 or 4Xs on some alts. But overall, I expect it to get pretty frothy, mainly because I just think a ton of news headlines are going to come out over the course of the first week of his presidency. And I think they're all going to just be bullish news headlines that have to get priced in over time. So I think it could get frothy, probably get a big leg up, a big correction, and then start grinding upwards in an uptrend for the foreseeable future under the Trump presidency.
I'm really digging your background, dude. That looks really good. Also, a heads up, we've given control of the Sin City handle, at least in the chat, to Ashley. So she'll be chatting as Sin City Crypto in the comment section today. So make sure to interact with her, engage with her. Also, Ashley, we're going to get you 100 followers on X, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm at 49.
49, okay. Also, we.
All
right. Forrest, I'm going to go over this. If you don't mind, Forrest, pulling up something in the TradFi markets. I don't know if it's the S&P or the Dow Jones or NASDAQ, whatever you want to pull up. But I want to share this article here. Wall Street roars ahead of Trump's inauguration. Intel rallies. Bitcoin tops 105. What's driving the markets on Friday? Forrest, we did share news yesterday that I believe it was Vice Chair Barr or someone from the Fed came out and said, yeah, we're probably going to have more rate cuts in 2025. That was a few days ago. Markets really started to pump and rally. And now we have the inauguration. We kind of already spoke to that. But can we take a look at how Wall Street is reacting, what they're doing, and how the markets in TradFi are looking like?
Sure. So regardless of what index you look at right now, it all looks about the same. Looking at the QQQ, which is just essentially tech stocks or whatever, everything's coming together in like this falling wedge, bull flag, inverse head and shoulder. Everything looks very bullish here going into the inauguration. For the last really since mid-December, we had kind of this choppy sell-off, this flag, and now we're starting to break out of the top of it. You could go to, that's QQQ. You could go to the NASDAQ and it looks very similar. You could go to the S&P 500, very similar. Thing with the S&P 500 is you do have potential for kind of I think that everyone's been worried about this head and shoulders here. So if this does get shoved back down, you do worry about some form of a head and shoulders, but everything right now just looks like a big bull flag, like it's going to continue upwards. And that's generally what TradFi markets do. Tesla kind of leading the pack today, up 5-6%. No surprise there with Elon Musk being buddies with Trump now. We're seeing a lot, and the reason, kind of my basis for saying I think it's going to be very similar to the actual election announcement or the election results pump that we got is we're seeing really similar stuff pump right now. We saw Tesla take off after the election results. We saw Doge take off after the election results. We saw Bitcoin do really, really well after the election results. And then we ended up seeing XRP see a huge run after the election results, a little bit lagged compared to Doge and Tesla and the TradFi market. So, so far so good. It's looking, it's lining up like things are going to be somewhat similar.
Awesome. Forrest, are you seeing are you kind of seeing a trend maybe? There's always talk about decoupling from TradFi with specifically to Bitcoin. Are you seeing that kind of trend, or do you expect that to happen?
I expect for Bitcoin to act like leveraged QQQ, which is essentially what it does. Like, generally speaking, everyone calls Bitcoin digital gold, but Bitcoin's more correlated with QQQ in the tech sector than anything else. So this is Bitcoin against QQQ. So if this chart's going up, right, this looks a lot like the Bitcoin chart.
Right.
But if this chart's going up, that means Bitcoin's outperforming QQQ. So what you'll often find is if QQQ crashes, Bitcoin crashes harder. If QQQ pumps, Bitcoin pumps harder. This is just looking like a big, massive inverse head and shoulders right now, with a bull flag and continuation for Bitcoin versus QQQ. It's actually pushing against all-time highs right now, as measured against TradFi markets. So, this looks extraordinary. Like, nothing about this, in my opinion, looks bearish whatsoever. I mean, you could always get a surprise, but everything about this looks very bullish for both QQQ to do well, but Bitcoin to do even better than QQQ. So I'm just pretty straightforward bullish. I don't think it's going to decouple. I think QQQ is going to do well. I think the tech sector is going to do well, and I think Bitcoin's just going to do better than the tech sector on top of that.
Awesome. All right, I want to go to this really quick here. So, a lot of buzz around Trump and, well, who's donating money to Trump and who's not donating money to Trump. You'll see what I mean here in a second. SWE is going to sponsor Donald Trump's inauguration. We've seen this from many other projects as well. And then you had this. Now, this is, and I'll give some more context here, okay? So Trump allegedly, and I want to say allegedly, told Ripple, you made this amount of money last year and you'll make much more now because of me. But when I needed you, where were you? You weren't with me. Maybe you were with Kamala Harris. This is in reference to an Axios report, to which I want to note, Axios did not specifically mention Ripple. They did not mention a company at all. It's just people took it, speculation, and ran with it. Why? Chris Larson donated $10 million to Kamala Harris. But also, a lot of people donated to Kamala Harris. Now, when this first came out, there was no community notes. A lot of these have been community noted. Forrest, where do you stand on this with the XRP thing? And yeah.
I think even if he did say it, he likes to say, he likes to play tough with people, and I could definitely see him saying something like this, but then still going and supporting Ripple and supporting crypto in the US. As it stands, it's just it seems a little bit made up. There's no hard sources. There's kind of a he said, she said type of thing. I don't think it's also very coincidental. Like the people writing this, I believe, are ETH maxis or tied to Consensus, which is like a ETH based company.
Yeah.
It's I think we're just going to see a lot more XRP FUD the closer it gets to flipping Ethereum. Honestly, I think XRP is going to flip. I think XRP is going to be number one. I think it's going to flip both Ethereum and Bitcoin. And as it gets closer and closer to doing those things, I think we're going to see more and more targeted FUD towards Ripple. So I just expect more of this. But yeah, I don't think Trump cares that much.
Are you talking
if they don't?
Are you talking like fully diluted? I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, fully diluted. Okay. So if you count all the tokens, I think so Bitcoin at 104K, it's like at a $2.2 billion or trillion dollar valuation right now. That would mean like $22, $23 XRP to flip Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin keeps going up, then maybe it'll take like $30, $40 XRP to flip it. I don't necessarily know that it'll flip it permanently, fully diluted, but I mean, it's done it in the past. It's done. I think it was like 2015 or 2016 that it did it during, or maybe it's 2017. Regardless, like I think XRP is going to be number 2 here pretty soon, and you'll see more FUD.
What's crazy is every time a new project comes out, it's like, it's the Ethereum killer. It's going to flip Ethereum. It's gotten to the point where people just brush it off like, okay, yeah, we've heard this one before. But I mean, we're like a 2.5, 3x away from that actually happening. Are you disappointed with the way Ethereum has performed so far, Forrest? Robin said he kind of shipped it on on ETH. I get this feeling in my gut though, that every time people write off a project like Ethereum, like Doge, like really anything else that's been around for a while, as soon as that happens, it just goes on this massive rally. What's your outlook on ETH? Historically, January and Q1 have been extremely bullish for Ethereum, but it's been pretty damn lackluster so far. What's your forecast on ETH for this month and the remaining Q1?
Yeah, I mean, I think ETH will eventually break its downtrend against Bitcoin. It'll have its moment in this bull market, and it'll run super, super hard, whether that's to like 6,000, 8,000, 12,000. I don't know. I mean, I think if we get a really full-on crazy bull market throughout the rest of 2025, maybe it runs to like 20K, which I know sounds like a super high target that we didn't reach last cycle, but everyone was calling for 20K last cycle. I think this cycle has the potential to be bigger than, more like 26 or 2017, 2018. ETH will be fine in a bull market. It's going to go up. As far as performance against other majors go, I personally just think that XRP is going to be the top performing major of the year, just like Solana was last year. So yeah, is Ethereum, like, I think you're fine in Ethereum if you're in ETH. Like I wouldn't worry about it. And eventually it's going to just cause everybody to FOMO in, because it'll be the thing that performs really well for like 2 weeks straight, and it'll pump against everything else. It'll be, everyone will, say, I told you so. ETH is the real deal. And the dominance on ETH will pump super hard. When that happens, I don't know, but for now, I just think long-term, like I feel more comfortable being exposed to XRP for now.
Forrest, you were very vocal with XRP when it was at like 45, 50 cents. I think you kind of converted me. You come on our show every Friday and you kept talking about XRP. And so I want to give you some credit for kind of, shifting at least my narrative and my outlook on XRP. But with being where it was and why you were so bullish, where it is now, has your thesis changed? Has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse? What is your, why are you so bullish on XRP? What do you foresee 2025 happening with Ripple? Is it partnerships? Is it working with the government? Like, what makes you so excited about what Ripple's doing?
Yeah, 2 things. So first off, it's how banks are, and in my belief, it's going to be the solution that banks adopt to send money. Like, if I want to send you money, I could use Venmo or whatever, but I don't have any integrated DeFi options with Venmo where I could just earn 5 to 10% APY when my money's just sitting there. That's what Venmo is actually doing I think Venmo is owned by PayPal, right? So what's better than that? Well, I could download Phantom or Backpack Wallet and use USDC on Solana to send you money. And then all of a sudden I can, send cross-border transactions instantaneously with very little fees whatsoever. And you can't necessarily do that with a centralized solution like Venmo. You just run into friction when you try to send cross-border payments. The problem is Bank of America, JP Morgan, all these international banks, they can't, and central banks for that matter, they can't just download Phantom and start slinging around USDC and stable coins. It's not regulated. It's not compliant. XRP Ledger and the software suite that Ripple has gone and built on top of XRP Ledger, and then the stable coin that they've come out with, RLUSD, and I think they're come out with a bunch of other stable coins for other fiat currencies, are all super, super compliant. And it's essentially like being able to download, like you're a bank, but now all of a sudden you can send money with crypto. It's fast, it's cheap, it's much better than the traditional financial rails or the Swift system where it's a little bit slower, clunkier, higher fees. So that's one thing. I think it's just going to save the money, and I think they're going to prefer that way to save to send money. The other thing is, I think XRP's ultimate goal, and they've stated this, they actually took it down back in like 2016, is they're trying to be the global digital reserve currency. And the implication that has is very, very massive for liquidity and the amount of money that can be driven into XRP. And now I'm not the type of person to sit and tell you, oh, XRP is going to $10,000 or $2,000. I think like, it's $20, $30 this cycle. And then eventually if it, takes over and gets, mainstream adoption, like $100 later, years down the line. But so if you go to if you look at any token, any digital asset that's ever had a massive parabolic run, look at Bitcoin. Why did Bitcoin go to 19.7K in 2017, December of 2017? It was not because people were buying it as a store of value. That narrative didn't show up until 2019, 2020. The Bitcoin went to 19.7K because ICOs and altcoins started popping up all over the place, and Binance listed liquidity pairs on Binance with Bitcoin as the liquidity pair. So to buy your altcoin, you'd have to buy Bitcoin. Same thing with Ethereum with the DeFi last cycle. Same thing with Solana with meme coins this cycle. If you wanted to speculate on meme coins, you had to buy Solana. Same thing with Virtual's protocol. They use Virtual as the LP pair. So if you want to buy AIXBT token on Virtual's protocol, you have to buy Virtual. Even if you're buying it with USDC, it's still routing through the Virtual LP pair, right? So that is essentially what I believe XRP is trying to do with all the fiat currencies in the world. I believe they're trying to become the default liquidity pair for the Japanese yen, Korean won, Chinese yuan, the US dollar, every fiat currency. So essentially everything all the liquidity would be routed through XRP, and the amount of demand that creates and then the supply constriction that creates results in price going up very rapidly. So that could take years to play out in that form. But even in the short term, we just have a really great setup for XRP to do really well, just off of the news-based catalyst, like the SEC dropping the case here. Hopefully,
they just filed an appeal, Forrest.
Yeah, but I think the new administration is going to take care of that. But yeah, I mean that's the XRP thesis. It's all liquidity based. I think they're going to be the liquidity reserve token, digital reserve token for the world. And then also I just think banks are going to use it to send money, which is super bullish. So
Forrest, I want to stick on payments because I agree with you. I think payments is going to be huge. Not just me and you, but a lot of the smartest people, they're like, hey, this makes the most sense from a regulation standpoint. Like, let's pass laws, let's put some regulation in. It makes sense. It helps the dominance of the dollar because the majority of the stable coins are in US dollars, and to back them, well, guess what? Especially if new legislation is passed, they're going to force you to hold treasury, short-term treasury. So it's going to benefit the US in multiple ways. Outside of XRP and outside of XLM, because those two are what comes to people's mind, is there another play in crypto that you believe, whether it's on an infrastructure level, whether it's maybe a line, like a vertical no one has thought about that could benefit from really a rise in stablecoin and payments in crypto? Are there any projects that come to your mind, or if someone wants to get maximum exposure to the payment space, minus XRP, minus XLM, what would you tell them?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm sure there's other projects out there. And look, if we're going to go into a bull market, which I think we are already in one, but if we are going to go into like the back third of a bull market, like the most aggressive, euphoric stage of a bull market, like stuff is going to run super hard. And honestly, if it's got AI in the name or payments or stablecoin, like it's probably just going to run super hard. So like, I don't have, I try to invest in things that I have a very specific thesis around. And I do have that specific thesis for XRP, XLM, and Virtuals Protocol, essentially. Those are like the three that I really, really like a lot. I'm sure there's other stuff. Like I haven't looked deeply into XDC, which is like, it seems to be another token that is greatly benefiting from the Trump election. Yeah, I don't know. I really like XRP and XLM for payments and the movement of money in a compliant way, cross border payments. In addition to that, yeah, I would say XRP, XLM. There's other ones. I'm certain. I'm not bashing anything else, but for me, it just seems very straightforward. Like those are the ones that I'm very confident in. So I'm going to stick with where I'm most confident.
Awesome. You know, I did a little search on XDC. It's an RWA play. They were very early, and did this so long ago. They were the first and only blockchain invited to this one summit that was with tokenization. So it was included in the RWA sector of our almanac. Which, by the way, I'm getting a lot of questions. With everything happening with the fires and the shipping, we're still on track. I spoke to the guys at LVLCS yesterday. We're still on track to ship this month. And so we apologize for the delays, but it's ready to go. They just need to get it in there, slap the RFID chips and send them out. So, and that takes only a day. And so tell me still January. So yeah, I just want to kind of give everyone an update. But what I'm thinking here is, you know, Hedera is an interesting one to me. Why? Well, you look at what they did with the Philippines, right? Their governing council, RWAs, pretty fast, cheap, unique, Hashgraph consensus, and a really, really good team. Hedera is one. Also, another one, and you know, Forrest, I remember this was, 3 years ago, Nano was a big play in payments. I know you were pretty big on Nano. Is that not on your radar anymore? Is that something that, you know, you've kind of like, they didn't do what I expected them to do?
No, I actually have a bag of Nano. I actually think so. Again, people are gonna call me crazy. People called me crazy about Solana when it was under $20, and called me stupid when, you know, for being long XRP at 50 cents. And they'll probably call me stupid for thinking that XRP can go to, you know, anywhere between $10 and $30 this year. Nano, like the chart pattern on Nano is very, very long. And the target on a type of pattern like that is actually very, very high. It made a $37 all-time high in 2017, I believe, 2017, 2018. The target for a symmetric triangle like that it was ridiculous. It's like, you know, I think it's trading at like $1 and change right now. And the target would be somewhere in the next like 6 to 12 months, hitting $50 to $100, which again sounds crazy. And I don't have a specific thesis for Nano right now. I really don't. Like, I have a specific thesis for XRP, for XLM, for Virtuals Protocol, but just based off of the chart alone, and the fact that I think that this cycle could be very, very big. I've got some Nano just, you know, out of sight, out of mind, because I think it could, you know, in 6 months you could look up and the chart just starts going vertical, and I don't really want to be trying to FOMO in after it's already like 2 to 3x. But yeah, I think it could just run super hard out of nowhere at some point in the next year. So I've just got a bag set aside, and the chart looks very, very good from a high time frame perspective.
I'll tell you one thing. Do not fade Forrest. I'll just say that. I'm not saying do whatever he tells you to do, but the guy says something, I would at least, you know, dig into it. We're kind of rallying here, my friend. Forrest, I know we kind of looked at BTC versus the triple Q, but can we just pull up a Bitcoin dollar chart? Also, shout out to Ashley. We were kind of talking off camera. She's been doing some paper trading. You told me you've been hitting some trades, huh?
Well, with my fake money, okay?
So that's good. That's what you're
I've
supposed
been
to.
learning. I've been
That's what you're
learning.
supposed to
Okay,
do.
I've made some fake money. I'm very proud of myself.
Okay.
Mhm.
What trades have you put in so far?
I don't remember. Honestly, I was just clicking buttons and hoping it made me money. Kind of like when you gamble, you just hit the button and hope for the best. That's what I was doing.
It's not a slot machine.
So I did Dogecoin and I did
All right.
Bitcoin.
Doge and Bitcoin. Okay.
And I made money off of both, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so good at this game.
Awesome. Yeah.
I know.
Just don't get too, don't go too high, don't go too low. Just kind of stay in the middle.
I just thought it was gambling. I was just clicking buttons and hoping for the best.
It's not gambling if you know you're going to
Hoping for
win.
the
That's what
best.
the guy from Hangover said, right?
Oh, I suppose.
Zach Galifianakis?
I don't watch movies.
It's not gambling. What? Anyways, 105,455. Forrest, what are we looking at for BTC? Is this an actual breakout, Forrest, or is this kind of a I don't know if the right term here is dead cat bounce, but is this gonna be a sustained rally, or are we just gonna go right back down to 95 to 100K?
It's looking like this could turn into a sustained rally. Usually when Bitcoin starts moving up, like even today, we're putting in a 5+% candle. We'll see how that closes. We'll see how we trade over the weekend. But generally speaking, when Bitcoin does make these very large moves, you can sustain it for a couple of days here. So we're on the daily here. This is our third day in a row. We kind of took a breather, but out of the last 3 days, we've seen 8% move. I think this is just a flag. Technically speaking, some people might say we're still in a range capped by our prior high. I don't necessarily think that. I think we've broken out, and I think the top of the range was really like 100K, and we just had kind of like these deviations above the range from Michael Saylor aping the top. And who knows, maybe it could be Michael Saylor bidding this up right now, but I don't necessarily think so. 105. Yeah, this looks like a breakout to me. Go to the 3-day. It still looks really, really solid. You want to see a couple of these days strung together. So the thing with Bitcoin though, it moves very, very quick. Really the entire market. If you fade a breakout, you can really get punished by not being willing to be a market participant when Bitcoin does really start moving. So it could be a thing where we, like after the, or not after the election, but going into the election, we got this very impulsive move, and then we got the kind of like the 1 week pullback before the election, before continuation. So we could definitely come back right back down to 100K, which would wash out alts pretty nastily. It would be painful, but that's why I recommend spot over leverage here. And I mean, this is showing an impulsive move to the upside. I think this is probably going to run. I don't really have very specific targets here on Bitcoin. I can run some fibs real quick and just give you some, basic target. 138 to 150 would be the extension of this move, give or take. So wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. 120, 140. Yeah, it looks like this train could be headed to 150 soon. So wouldn't be surprised if we see 150K Bitcoin sooner than you think. When Bitcoin moves, it moves aggressively. Just on the election pump, before it just started grinding upwards, on the election pump, it moved 33% before people could really even, the average person that wasn't paying attention to the market didn't even realize that Bitcoin was moving up. And then, over the course of 10 days, it's 33% higher. So if we see something similar to that, I mean, you're talking about 120, 130K very quickly, maybe a grind up into 150. So pretty bullish on Bitcoin here. I mean, you got a president who is very vocally bullish Bitcoin that has not only been elected, but is now going to be sworn in. You've got a lot of pro crypto and pro Bitcoin individuals, and then just general rhetoric coming from this new administration. So I think it's bullish.
Awesome. As far as I'm just looking at the taking a look at the top gainers here, and I'm taking a look. I'm like, all right, who's gaining the most? You got SPX, which is a meme coin, Bonk Pepe meme coins. That's 3 out of the top 7, and then SHIB is number 10. So 4 out of the top 10 gainers are meme coins. You have 1 exchange token. You have 1 infrastructure, essentially. I have no idea what Kaya is. And then you got gaming and you got DeFi. Coming out of the inauguration, Forrest, where are you looking? What sector are you looking to stay allocated to? I know you say you have a thesis for virtuals. If you want to share that, feel free to do so. Is it AI? Is it going to be shift from AI? we kind of saw money flow out of memes into AI agents. Do you think that money, and I'm not throwing a lot of stuff at the wall here, but I'm trying to give you some ideas. Are we going to see that money flow back into meme coins? Like, what's your thesis for the like Q1 this year? Where do you want exposure? And what is it, a narrative? Is it a sector? Is it multiple coins? Like, what's your strategy?
Yeah, XRP, XLM, Virtuals Protocol. And there's other stuff out there. That's just how I pare it down personally. I think you could, the two sectors that interest me the most are one, the suit coins, right? If you look at the founder of a coin, does he wear a suit? And does he meet with other people that wear suits? I don't know if you saw the picture. I think I tweeted it out or retweeted it. It was like Brad Garlinghouse and his head of legal wearing suits next to Trump, who also was wearing a suit after they'd just eaten dinner. And then next to it was like Vitalik Buterin in like a purple, like I don't even know what it was, like some purple outfit that was like sweatpants or whatever. I'm very bullish on, like, I think at the end of the day, if we are going to get regulatory clarity, the suits are going to dominate crypto. I know that's counter. Like, people are super upset about this. People are super upset about XRP doing really well because they're like, oh, it's counterintuitive or it's against the crypto ethos. Like, I don't know what you expect. Like, do you expect the government to be like super supportive of like I don't know, like private money? Like, super decentralized money? No, I expect it. The Bitcoin's kind of that one exception where it's not private, but it is super decentralized, and the government, there's enough push in the government from people for Bitcoin to do well. Outside of that, I just think the narrative to be exposed to is compliant and regulated tokens. The two of which I like the most are XRP and XLM, and then AI. I don't like. Look, so meme coins are going to run. Make no mistake about it. I think like Fartcoin could be the meme coin of the cycle. Who knows? It's over $1 billion valuation right now. I'm not chasing meme coins. I actually think meme coins as an entire sector are going to have long periods of underperformance because I believe AI is taking a lot of capital allocation away from meme coins and into AI and AI agents. I think AI is rapidly growing. I think AI as a sector within crypto is still super small. I think it's like under 15 billion still. If not, it's under 20 billion. Versus meme coins are like over 100 billion in sector total market cap. So I think I think that gap's going to continue to close. That doesn't mean that meme coins are going to do bad. You're still going to have some big winners, right? I know you sorted by like what's doing well today. Meme coins are bouncing super hard today, but if you sort by like what's up over the last week, it's a payment sector with suit coins. But I think the AI sector, Virtuals Proto, you could go to AI coins on Solana if you want. I think I really like Base. I really like the Base ecosystem and Base narrative. I really like Virtuals Protocol. I think there's a lot of opportunities there. But yeah, that's my thesis on AI. I just think it's just gonna be much bigger than meme coins in the grand scheme of things, and I think it's going to accelerate a lot faster than people think.
We are so on the same page, bro. It's not even funny. I can't pick one thing you said that I disagree with. I still remember that text you sent me. It's like 6-7 months ago. I was like, hey, this new Virtuals Protocol, man. I forget what the conversation was. I could probably go through the text, but man, I've been so deep into that damn ecosystem. So a couple things I do want to share. So those of you that are part of our Patreon, we've been hitting some really big ones. So this one, Simpson, I think we got in right around 4 or 5 mil on this one. So shout out to you guys. This project is they did the first ever cross-chain swap with an agent. So shout out to the team for that. These guys have ties with Kraken and MetaMask, and they've been in the industry a while. And so what they're building out is pretty unique. Just wanted to share their roadmap with you. So looks like they're going to be launching a mobile app with additional trading features, hosting hackathons, on and off ramps, and then expanding into other swap markets. So interesting stuff there. This is an exciting one that I'm excited to see what comes out of it. And then one thing I will say, and also to remember, when a sector really starts going or a narrative really starts pushing, everything really pumps, right? everything pumps. You could literally close your eyes, go down a list, pick one, and you'll make money on it. But as the market cap grows larger, and as more large buyers get into the space, and as the space really honestly just matures, my one piece of advice for you would be is this. You're gonna see each washout, pump, washout, pump, washout, pump. You're gonna see less and less 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 X's from everything, and more steady growth in the top ones. Look at what AIXBT did. It almost hit $1. Like what, 90, 92 cents? It's going to hit $1 billion market cap. It's probably going to hit $2 billion market cap. The mind share on AIXBT is absolutely ridiculous. It is ridiculous what that thing is doing. So you're going to see that. But that's a good thing though, right? That's a good thing because money's going to flow in to the agents that actually have proven their utility, proven their staying power. We know the team that's around it, or the team that created it, at least for the most part. Then you look at, well, where are these agents being deployed? And Virtual's Protocol is a great one. There's a bunch of other ones. There's Hollow World and Creator Bid, and there's Eternal AI. There's a lot of different platforms. So if you want to just set it and forget it and take less risk, but have exposure to AI, buy Virtuals, BitTensor. I mean, I could throw Solana in there because of, Hollow World, and some like the one of the other large agents is AVA on Solana. And so you can do that, or if you want the higher gains, the AI agents, really, I personally believe, and this is not financial advice, but that's where you're going to make a lot of your money. And that's what we have been doing for the last 2 to 3 months. There's a lot of opportunity there, and I do want to share this one as well. This one was given to our Patreon members at 500K market cap. It's currently sitting at 2.5 mil. This is one, the developer behind this used to work for, the developer for Kraken. And also something else, but this is a unique one as well. I mean, I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just saying these are ones that we've kind of kept our eye on. There's a few other ones. I'm not going to get into the list of everything we've done, but AI is a sector, and I agree with Forrest. I think it's very undervalued. If you look at meme coin market cap versus AI agent market cap, it's like what Forrest said, 15 billion versus 130 billion. So not only do I think me and Forrest, if I'm kind of not speaking what you believe, just jump right in, but we believe it can get to that 130 billion plus. Like what's your top side max level market cap for the entire AI community, AI agent space for us? Is it 150? Is it 500? Like, is it, what's your, Jensen Huang, the founder of NVIDIA, said $1 trillion. I don't know. Where do you stand?
Honestly, I have no idea where it's going. I just, at this point, I feel very confident that it is going higher, right? Like it's at 15 billion when you've got meme coins at 100+ billion. I just think money's going to continue to flow into the AI sector. If memes can get above 100 billion, then why can't AI? You could see, in a real bull market, I mean, stuff like, I don't think people were even like last cycle was not, I mean, we had some crazy, we had Axie Infinity go to like 20 bit, like you're talking about one random blockchain game in last cycle that was like very disappointing in terms of, like targets didn't get reached. It was a kind of a muted cycle. It was a neutered cycle for multiple reasons, including the SEC case against XRP, including, the random Bitcoin mining ban in China, including fraud at a mass scale with FTX and Terra Luna. Like this was a very neutered cycle last cycle. And we still saw like Axie Infinity go to like a $20-30 billion fully diluted valuation. That was just one blockchain game, right? That was not at the L1 level. That was not at the ecosystem level. That was just one project's token went to like a $20 billion, $30 billion valuation. And we're talking about the entire AI sector right now has a $15 billion valuation in terms of like the AI agent sector. I mean, it could get silly. It could go to 300, 400, 500 billion. I'm not claiming that that's where it's going to go. I just know that the way money moves into spaces like this in a bubble, we could see temporary blow off tops to numbers that sound absolutely ridiculous right now. Could it be super disappointing and top out at like 40 billion? Certainly. But okay, that's still over 3 or almost 3x from where it's at right now. So I don't know. I'm just super bullish on the AI sector. I'm not going to give a specific target. I just know that its potential to blow off to a ridiculous number is very high. And I think it's one of the more speculative, like nobody knows how to price AI right now. Just like nobody knew how to price .com stocks,
Yeah.
nobody knew how to price NFTs last cycle, nobody knows how to price meme coins, nobody knew how to price, you know, DeFi Ponzi's last cycle. Like all these speculative assets go into bubbles because nobody knows how to price them, which is like a good thing, right? It's a good thing if you're a speculative investor. So I think AI is just going to go crazy from here, and you probably want to be allocated.
Bingo, bingo. What do you always say, Forrest? I mean, Hex went to 80 billion, remember?
Yeah, I mean, just total scam. Like we had multiple scams last cycle go to almost 100 billion market cap. Yeah, I think some of the more legitimate projects and agents in the space have a lot of room to go. If, you know, the caveat, like no black swan event, no recession, there's always a monster under the bed. But if we get a typical cycle, which I don't see any reason not to bet on, especially with the current administration telling you that they're super pro crypto, I mean, like I don't know. It's lining up very nicely. Knock on wood and hope nothing catches us off guard. But yeah, I think I'm bullish.
You know, if we don't, Forrest, for some reason, because you can't say something has a 0% probability, right? If for some reason 105 was the top and we don't get that cycle, I will literally question my entire life and everything around it, because it just like, when you break it down to like the common sense level, there is no, can't say no chance. There is less than a 0.001% chance that we don't see a massive rally in the crypto markets. We got one the last 3 cycles with absolute garbage in the administration, in the White House and the SEC, lawsuits, Wells notices. Now we're going the complete opposite. We've done a 180. And it's going to be a nurturing environment, an environment that people want to come here and build. People want to launch projects. How in the world are you going to convince anyone that this is not going to be a big bull market this year? I think people get lulled to sleep with the short-term price action. They tune out. Next thing you know, guess what? You turn on your TV, you go on YouTube, you see a thumbnail that says, wow, Bitcoin hit 150K. Then you start tuning in. And at that point, you've missed a lot of 2, 3, 4Xs on the way up, which is why I always tell people, when markets are boring and markets are down, that's when you really want to pay attention, right? That's when you want to position yourself. So that would just be my kind of piece of advice.
Wrong.
Wrong?
Wrong.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. It's not going to work.
You're wrong.
Okay.
I don't know. I was supposed to argue with you.
I know. I'm reading the chat. That's why I'm not going to. Yeah.
But you're wrong.
Nice try. Okay. I'm wrong. Anyways,
I'm trying, okay?
yeah, maybe you should try a little harder. Forrest, did you hear about this shitcoin reserve? So there was news came out yesterday that Donald Trump is open to a America First reserve. What does that mean? That means the made in the USA cryptocurrencies, XRP, XLM, Hedera, Cardano, Algorand, a couple other ones. He's open to the idea of creating a strategic reserve. This crypto quant CEO has said, he's called it a shitcoin reserve, has gone too far. Boris, what are your thoughts?
It just depends on what's in there, right?
Let's say it is those coins, Boris. Let's say it is XRP, XLM, Cardano, Algorand, Hedera, the projects that are domiciled here in the U.S., or however he decides to label it, the made in USA currency.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for it because those are my, you know, I'm gonna directly benefit from it. Do I think it's in the best interest of the United States as a country? Probably not, but I mean,
good for us.
Yeah, I mean, look, if printing, like, I think eventually, like, one of the cases for crypto just having an absolute mega cycle is like, if you're a country with a money printer right now and you see what's happening with the absolute collapse of our debt and absolute collapse of fiat currency as a whole, like the first country to turn on their money printer just to straight up buy Bitcoin or straight up buy gold or silver or any hard asset, like, I know everybody's crazy about, you know, crypto, whatever, but also like just gold and silver are very bullish right now. And it's because like the entire world and led by the United States is undergoing a massive debt collapse. And it's a cycle that I don't think that we can stop. Even like Elon Musk is saying like, as of today, we need extraordinary intervention to stop the collapse of the US dollar and the
Yep.
collapse of the fiat system. You have Donald Trump is going to try to help out with tariffs. Elon and Vivek are going to try to help out by cutting some government spending with the Doge program. So, like the argument for something like this, having strategic reserves of digital assets is like, well, it's probably better than the US dollar. It's probably better. Like if these things have capped supplies and they're not super inflationary, like that would be kind of like the thing that I would want to see like be necessary for the inclusion. Like I'd want to see it only be US based cryptocurrencies that are not inflationary, because I think over time that's going to play a big that'll help out a lot. What's the point of selling, printing dollars in inflationary currency to buy something that's also super
Right.
inflationary? So, like Bitcoin, XRP, XL, all that stuff, like that's fine if it has a capped supply. But yeah, I mean, like, why not? I think there's going to be a race eventually for everyone to turn on their fiat money printers and buy scarce assets, whether it's gold, silver, Bitcoin, XRP, whatever it is.
Awesome. Forrest, before we go, is there a chart that's of interest to you that you want to share with the people watching? And while you pull that up for us, I do want to give a shout out. We had a super chat here from Kay. What do you said, Forrest? Do you think the inauguration would be the sell the news event? Thanks and kind regards. I think he's already answered that. But Forrest, if you want to chime in on that, feel free to do so.
No, I mean, like short term, like if we pump super hard into the inauguration, right, like we might get a correction, we might get a sell off. I think people might be afraid and sell off, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna freak out about it and think that like, oh, that's the total market top. Is it possible? Yes, that we get a sell the news event into the inauguration. I personally don't think so. If you go back and look at Bitcoin's price in historical inaugurations, so what would have been January of 2021. January here, November, there was the election, December, January 2021, you chopped around and then you sent. And that was like towards the end of the bull market. And this was a very neutered bull market. Let me get a different Bitcoin chart because I think we don't have last cycle. And then 2016 was, if you look at so it would have been January of 2017. We can find it here. You chopped around. You had some short-term volatility. You had a correction from 1100 down to 700. People were probably calling cycle top. And then you ripped to 19K. So like, I don't know. I just think like just at a surface level, like, do we think that markets are going to be better over the next 4 years under Trump than they were under Biden? Markets trade heavily based off of emotion, which it's super heavily based off of emotion. Like the .com bubble was a speculative frenzy, and all these all-time high, or not all-time highs, but blow-off tops are emotional speculative bubbles. I think the emotions and just the general vibes, for lack of a better word, are going to be much higher under Trump than Biden. Politics aside, you had like a zombie in the office. Vibes were pretty low. People had pretty bad expectations and didn't have a lot of faith in the U.S. government over the last 4 years. Now, I know not everyone's a big fan of Trump, and that's fine, but the guy likes to pump markets. He loves to pump markets, and I think he's going to pump crypto and TradFi. So as far as like any chart that stands out to me, I mean, I'll give you two, XRP and XLM, and there's other charts out there, but I'm going to look at the high time frame on XRP here, and it's pretty simple. I mean, this was one of the big reasons for being bullish on this thing in the first place. You just have this massive multi-year triangle, and when you break out of a multi-year range, right, which I think we're about to break out of, we've just been kind of dancing around all-time highs here, right? When you break out of a multi-year range, generally speaking, you go significantly higher. So this was like a 7-8 year range. Let me compare that to Tesla, right? Tesla, everybody thought was a car company, and it was trading for 6.5 years, I believe, almost 7 years, very similar to XRP, was trading in its multi-year range in line with other car companies such as Ford, GM, Volkswagen, whatever. But then people realized, oh, Tesla is not a car company. They're a tech company on top of a car company. And then what happened when Tesla, let me get this brush tool, broke out of a 6-7 year range, bullish pattern, ascending triangle, whatever you want to call it. It absolutely exploded. It ran for like people thought it was overvalued up here at $26 and ended up running to 400. So yeah, XRP. Like,
What was the percentage
all I
move
want to
on
say
that,
is like,
Forrest?
what's up?
What was the percentage move on that up?
Oh, to Tesla?
Yeah,
I think it was like 10x from the breakout. It was like 16x, 17x. Which if you would have sat here and said at all-time highs, at Tesla all-time highs, and you would have said Tesla's going to 17x from here over the next 2 years, over the next really less than that.
He would have
but,
laughed.
Yeah, roughly 2 years. People would have laughed at you and said, no way, it's already trading above where it should be valued at compared to GM and Ford and all these other car manufacturers. But it's a car company. I believe XRP is doing something similar, not only just in the chart, but in the sense that people think it's a cryptocurrency. People think it's that it should be compared to all these other networks like ETH and Solana and Cardano. And in my opinion, it is a currency. It is a reserve currency, global, potentially a global digital reserve currency. XLM has another just massive pattern, and I don't think people should fade these just absolutely huge patterns because they take 6-7 years to form. So you only get a chance to trade patterns like this every decade, right? And again, I don't want to inspire anyone to FOMO into something just because like I'm bullish on it. Like do your own research, but like when you see something that's undergoing a very speculative time frame, break out of a range, and XLM hasn't broken out yet. So could it come all the way back down to 10? Sure, right? If something bad happens, that could be the case. But if we start breaking to all-time highs, people are gonna like, oh, I missed XLM. I missed it. I can't buy it at 90 cents. That's an all-time high. Like, okay, but historically, these massive patterns break up 5 to 10x when they do end up breaking out. So this could still be months or years away from breaking out, but it's giving it a really good try here right now. And I do think it could break out sooner than expected. Same thing with XRP. It technically hasn't, it's broken out of the triangle, but it hasn't technically broken out of the rectangle yet. It's trying to, and that's why I'm so bullish on XRP. If this thing starts peaking up to like $4, I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, $4, I better sell my XRP. And then it's just going to rip to like 10, 15, 20 over the next year or two. But that's my opinion. And, that I don't want to, anyone to make financial decisions based off of just what I think. Make sure you do your own research and understand like this could chop around for another couple months before it runs. But the high time frame patterns of this magnitude are same thesis for Nano, very massive pattern. And when those massive patterns do break out, you want to be long into them because they mark up so aggressively. So that's just my take. There's gonna be a lot of other assets besides these that run if we get a bull market. So
awesome. Thank you for that, Forrest. Guys, we hope you enjoyed today's show. Before we log off, do want to give a big thank you to today's channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by CAM's Blue Wire Technology. You want to learn how CAMs can help your business scale and grow and maximize your networking, IT, and cybersecurity. Visit bluewiretech.com. There is a link in the description of this video. I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about in the chat here, but as long as you're having fun, hopefully they were paying attention to what we were talking about and not just getting pedicures and
Listen, men should be getting
glitter
pedicures. Also, I would like to give a shout out to everybody. You told me to.
Okay.
You guys are new to me. Maybe not new to the show. I don't know. But QQ, Ashwin G, Crazy Eye, MD Babu, Luis A, Diego G, James Bond is here. That's crazy. Ashley Wells and Lana Parker. To all of you, yeehaw.
Yes, that's a thing now.
That's a yeehaw. Well, I mean, I'm not saying hola.
That's fine.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's interesting.
Why is it interesting?
It's just interesting.
Howdy, yeehaw,
Yeah.
giddy up.
Hola, yeehaw, mamma mia. I don't have one
I didn't
yet.
say mamma
You need to
mia.
figure something
I
out.
say ciao.
Oh, ciao,
I don't say
babe.
mamma mia.
There you go.
Mamma mia.
See?
Forrest, do you have a saying you want to add to the Sin City Rolodex here?
I don't have anything.
I got one.
I'm sorry.
XRP to the moon.
It's
There you
gotta,
go.
it's gotta be
XRP,
one
there we
word,
go.
Rocco. It can't be.
Okay.
All right, that'll do it for the show today. Forrest, thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you're not following Forrest, which I'm assuming you guys are, because he joins us damn near every Friday. But here, I'll pull up his X handle and I'll post it in the chat. Cysteine Research. Go follow him on X, and I'll drop the link there so you guys can go over. Post a lot of good stuff in there. This guy is very early to a lot of trends, and so highly recommend you follow him. And yeah, that'll do it for the show today. Forrest, thank you again. Have a great weekend. And Rocco, tornado me back to my bed so I can get a nap because I don't feel good. Thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate all of you. Have an amazing weekend. We will see you guys on Monday. Until then.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.